Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. So in today's video, we're gonna kind of do like a backyard garden tour. I wanted to show you guys all of the willow trees that we're growing and then elderberry cuttings that we're growing too. But I ended up doing a whole backyard tour of most of our plants that we have growing here. I would say like 80% of everything. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of different projects that we have going on too. Yeah, just kind of wanted to give you an update on how everything is growing here in the garden so far this spring. It's not really our usual how-to tip video that we normally put out, but I think you guys will enjoy this if you like garden tours and stuff like that. Again, we're in southeastern Wisconsin, so things are just kind of starting to get kicked off here. Excited to see all the new growth and that we've had this spring. And if you guys aren't aware, we had an accepted offer on our new home, so we're going to be moving there this June. And so there is going to be a ton of stuff going on over this next year as far as brand new beds, brand new landscaping, a ton of projects. We are going to be so busy, and so I think I'm going to start leaning towards more of like these vlog type videos where it's kind of just me and you guys going through all the different projects that we have going on. So if that's something that you guys would enjoy, please comment down below and let me know. I think it'll be pretty entertaining for all of us. So let's get along to the tour and see what we've got growing. I'll start with those willow trees and elderberries that I was talking about before. So this first row here that we have, these are curly willows that we just propagated, except for that group of 5 right there. I'm not even sure what that is exactly yet, but one of our neighbors actually had it out for brush pickup, and it looked really pretty to me, so I took some cuttings of that as well, and that's been growing. This next row here, this set of 8, these are basket weaving willows, so they're Salix purpureae. I still don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but these are the specific types of willows that they use for basket weaving because they retain their shape and they don't shrink and expand with different temperatures and humidities after they've been harvested for basket weaving, which is why this is a prized species for that. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to start growing some of those. I bought those off of a shop online on Etsy. I think the whole thing was like, I don't remember if it was like $12 or $13 for a bunch of cuttings of those. So excited for those. And here we've got more weeping willow trees growing. So it's almost like we've got a whole nursery growing here. It's gonna be a lot of willow trees. And then finally, we've got more elderberries. All of these right here, including this beautiful specimen right here, are new elderberries that we're going to be growing. Got a whole bunch of them. I plan on taking cuttings from these and then propagating them out and selling the cuttings after they've grown to a specific point where they're marketable for people to start growing their own elderberry plants. Elderberries, if you don't know, have a ton of amazing properties to them. You can make syrups, jams, teas with not only the berries but the flowers as well. And it's excellent for flus, the immune system as well. And I could just go on and on about how wonderful of a plant elderberry are. So we've got 8 of those growing right now. Very excited for the future of these guys. Then up front here, I wanted to show you some progress that our Sailboat Planter has been making. This thing has really begun to become the beautiful planter that I imagined it would. It has taken a couple of years to kind of fill in, but I think it's worth the wait. Right now, this is primarily planted with some daffodils, sedum stonecrop, thyme, and then sedum sarmatosum. A lot of the thyme hasn't come in yet, but the stone crops that we have here are flourishing, and so is the sedum sarmatosum. These produce a beautiful yellow flower when they're in bloom, so very excited for that. And then we have yet to buy all of the annuals that we usually plant around this side here, and then we'll probably get this pot right here planted up as well. But it's been growing nicely. I think it's so cute. Eventually, when this is all filled out completely with flowers, it's going to be even more beautiful. But it's been kind of a cool project to do, and I think it turned out pretty good. Up in the front of the house here, our ligularia has started, as well as all of our other bulbs that we have. Different tulips, some alliums. Haven't really gotten anything on the burning bushes yet, or the peonies. Here's the peonies. That was a new bunch that we just got from a garage sale last year. So those will take a couple of years to take off, and then we have some sedum planted around the area too. Some phlox, and then this is a crabapple tree here. That's new last year too, and that's doing really well. Up front, it looks like our bleeding hearts on both sides of the driveway are coming up. This side, we just rejuvenated this whole bed. We dug out everything that was there because it was like nothing but gravel, and it filled it in with soil. So this side's going to be a little bit slower to take off, but this one that's pretty well established is doing great. Again, we've got sedum sarmatosum all over the place. A couple of ferns back here. You can see starting to grow. I think they're so cool. And those you can actually eat, those little fiddleheads, if you cook those. Yummy, believe it or not. If you've never eaten them, I suggest giving it a try. They have to be cooked though. Some more daffodils, lamb's ears, and then another hydrangea over here. Everything is growing quite well. This is the board that we're testing out for our flooring. This is just a plywood board. And on this half, we actually burnt it. So you can see the colors are a little bit more rich on this side here because we went through with a torch and burnt it. And then we put a Java bean stain on it and are now on our second coat of poly. You can see the difference there. And what we're gonna do is eventually, as soon as we get it figured out if we want to do this for sure or not. Right now we're not so sure on how durable it's going to be, but when we figure that out, if we want to or not, what we're going to be doing is ripping boards down. We're going to be making like either 8-inch by 8-foot boards or 4-foot, or do a 12 by 4 or 12 by 8-foot board. And so ripping these down into planks and using that as flooring, it's going to end up at probably just about $1 a square foot, if that. So real cool. Again, I'm really just not sure on the durability of it yet. Let's see. There, we can scratch it off. But the whole point of this is just a temporary floor until we get enough money saved up to where we can buy some vinyl with cash. So we don't have to put it on a card. So this, using flooring like this, is only going to cost us about $400 compared to $1,500 or $2,000 using vinyl. So it's going to be a temporary thing. And I think as soon as this poly dries, or if we add in another coat, it shouldn't be too bad, but I don't know. It's kind of up in the air yet. Raspberries are all budding quite well. These are actually on a east-facing wall here. And let's take you to the south patch right now. These ones here are on the south wall. And the ones on the other side of the fence have actually just grown from rhizome underneath through these, because we didn't actually plant anything back there. They just kind of grew all on their own. If you're not careful, your raspberries will grow all over the place. But they're looking great, nice and healthy. We did a good heavy pruning on these this year, this early spring, and then we took out some extra canes here so we didn't have too much crowding the area. So I think we'll get some good harvest off of them this year. Part of the perennial flower garden. Everything's looking fine and dandy. We've got some of our other stuff growing here too. Different phlox should be coming up. Lemon balm, and then big betony I think we've got in there. I don't know, there's so many different varieties just in this spot. I have a hard time remembering. These hollyhocks were overwintered in the greenhouse. They grow fast. Those are fast growers. Excited to see what they look like, since I think this is our second year of growth with these ones. They should be a little bit more prolific this year than they were last year. We've still got to plant our forsythias and dogwoods. Sedum varieties are coming up. Like always, those things are bulletproof. You guys know it. I'm excited for this whole perennial garden to start growing. Over here, if you guys know, are all of our sages. We've got white sage and Russian sage. Three main plants right here that are just beautiful when they bloom. Dark purple colors. It adds a nice contrast with all of the different phlox and bee balms, lemon balm that we have growing over here. Back here, we've actually got, so you see the little white flowers? Those are blood roots. So wild flowers that we transplanted over here. I've kind of got to clean out that spot so they don't get overtaken by, I don't even know what that is. But those were really fun to transplant. They're cool, native to this area. We got tulips. The lady's mantle is about to come up here. And otherwise, not a whole lot going on in this bed yet. We've got our weeping willow tree that we pruned down extensively this last spring. Starting to produce. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the other apple tree that we got here. It is starting to bud out and grow. We're kind of trying to train this thing so it produces tons of fruit for us. Keeping those branches low right here. And then the same thing with these, training them to go out instead of straight up. And pruning back these main branches each year so you get a lot of fruit set on that. Well, that's just about it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Happy gardening, and we'll see you in the next episode.